Okay, welcome to our presentation about entrepreneurial innovation in the toy and game industry. My name is Lars, and with me on this presentation I have got a lot of help from Gerrit, Sonja, and Lina. Here you can see a brief outline of our presentation. We'll start off with some general trends in the industry, followed with some socio-technical shifts. Again, we will also discuss economic shifts and briefly take a look at the social value system before we wrap it all up in an emergent entrepreneurial innovation model and emergent model canvas. So let's start off with the industry trends. I'm going to do this really quick. The industry is growing, which is obviously very positive. The emerging markets that are driving the general economy is also driving demand in the toy and games industry. Countries with large child populations and increased disposable income is especially driving the industry demand. China, Brazil, Argentina, India, and Turkey in particular. Furthermore, we see that certain categories grow more and more, especially increasing sales in the PC and console game downloads, mobile games, etc. Digital gaming has advanced a lot recently, especially on platforms like tablets and smartphones. And we also see the growth of hybrid toys, that is product crossovers from traditional toys to digital platforms. And this opens for collaboration between the traditional toy industry and the gaming industry. And we also have some negative trends. Sales are stagnating in the kind of classical huge markets like North America and Western Europe. We've also seen challenges with the new markets, and that is that they prefer different distribution channels. I mentioned growth in the PC and the console game industry, but there are also some decline in more traditional handheld video games consoles and games for static game consoles. And we also seen slower growth in digital gaming on the traditional platforms like consoles and PCs compared to tablets and smartphones. Furthermore, the free-to-play model is threatening the general revenue in the industry, and we also have seen that there are environmental concerns that has to be addressed.
Yes, and we'll go now to the social technical shifts and how they have impacted on the toy industry. On the positive side, we experience that children today are growing up with different kinds of technical devices like tablets, smartphones, which foster the children to become digital natives. There's also a shift where preschool children are increasingly starting to have play patterns where they're playing with digital gaming. And adults are also recognizing the educational value of tablets, as well as educational toys are one of the main growth drivers in the industry. The line between virtual and physical play is also getting more blurred. Children are demanding to play with games that inspired, for example, from movies. And last, in the positive impact, we are seeing this technological development with, for example, 3D printers where people at home can design toys and get it produce these 3D printers. But it's not very widespread at the moment, but it has a potential impact. On the negative side, there's a fear inside the industry that 3D printers can harm the established companies in the industry, and also there's an environmental issue that 3D printers use a lot of electricity, which leads to higher carbon emissions, and also a lot of waste from the products as well. Finally, there's increase in the internet retailing and grocery retailing at the expense of traditional toy stores.
All right, and furthermore, we're also looking at the economic shifts of the toy industry. First, on the positive side, then we have, as mentioned in the general trends, that we have a growing number of consumers in developing emerging markets because the smartphones have become commonplace. So more people are using smartphones. Therefore, there are more people to get these new games and so on too. And then we also have, in general, at the global toys and games market, are expected to show strong growth over the next 4 years, sorry. Also, as mentioned just before, is that a lot of the characters from movies and so on, they're also being produced as toys and so on, and that has made it possible for a lot of licensing, which drives demand, and it's also shown that this year's Star Wars movie is going to hopefully increase the revenue for a lot of companies. And of course, there's a negative impact on the industry as well. First of all, the production costs are increasing in China as their living standards are increasing as well and getting better, which means they want higher rates. So that is, of course, impacting the manufacturers in the toy industry. Then also the free-to-play is limiting revenue growth, so they have to figure out new business models in order to gain money on these gamings that are free-to-play. And then we have like the traditional toy stores, the big toy stores, that they're losing revenue as well, but it's still said in sources that we have that they're still important. And then last but not least, the sales numbers in North America and Western Europe are stagnating.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the social value shift in the industry, and it's mainly based on the Schwarz value map, and of course up in the left corner with the sales direction and circulation the industry has had an effect on. But we will talk about some of the other power with the social regulation and security, sense of belonging and social order kind of belong together at some point. It is more recognized to have a tablet or a smartphone as a child now, where they can play games online. And if they do not have a tablet or smartphone when they start in school, they may end up staying alone because it's such a normal thing today. And this is also part of the education, the teaching style, because today, especially in Denmark, many children are getting an iPad or a tablet when they start in school, and to educate, and then they can use it private to play games, and a social norm to have this tablet. Some of the negative impact is that the creativity of the children are increasing, because now they don't use the same imagination because they're just using a game maybe. For example, with Lego, before you got all the and then there's the security health part, where the children are not getting as much exercise because they're using the tablet and not playing games outside with each other. And the tradition, family are not longer staying together around the table playing games, but are sitting with their own devices. Yeah.
Yes, we have three different kinds of emerging entrepreneurial innovation models. The first is 3D printed toys, where children at home can design their own toys inspired from, for example, movies, and have the design and fabric at home, where the materials are made of sustainable products.
And the second one is the virtual toy store. Going back to the previous slides in the economic part, that physical stores are still important. We wanted to bring the physical toy store into a virtual context, so that the children at home can actually enter like a toy store in 3D, and then pick their product which they would like and see something about them, and then their parents can see afterwards what they've put in their baskets while making dinner, and then the children then will have a wish list for Christmas or whatever.
And the last one is a physical digital platform, which you can buy, and then you can buy digital games, which now is physical, for example, Monopoly, and then you can sit around maybe using your own device to move and get and play with the money and stuff, but still have the board where you are moving your bricks around. So yeah. And this is a short summary of what we have talked about. And on the next slide, we have made our our reference we have used during the slides presentation. Thank you.